This is Charlie.
And this is Cody. And this week, on our X to Z cultural review, we'll be talking about three things. First of all, we'll be talking about a recent trip to New York where we saw the revival of the Broadway show The Normal Heart. A groundbreaking 1980s show which this year won the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Drama or Comedy by Larry Kramer. It starred Ellen Barkin as the doctor and a number of other very, very great actors in a wonderful script about the beginning of the AIDS crisis in the 80s and how the government ignored it. Interestingly enough, in the middle of the play, as we're sitting in a theater in New York, they mentioned Fort Detrick in Frederick, Maryland, which is part of the play, as if research on the virus had been done there and perhaps it had started there. It was a beautiful show, got an instant standing ovation, and as they broadcast the names of the victims on the walls of the theater who had died in the first 4 years, the audience just stood in complete silence. We ran from the theater because we had about 15 minutes to get 20 blocks to the bus, so we were in a big hurry. But it was a great, great play, and if you're in New York, it only runs another 2 weeks, so you want to see it right away. And then the other thing we both saw was
Next to Normal, which won the Tony Award for Best Actress and Best Score, and it came to the Kennedy Center. I saw it last night, and Charlie saw it
last week,
and it was just fabulous. Alice Ripley is doing the role that she won a Tony for, and then the cast is entirely new and revamped for the tour, and it's great. It's about a mother with bipolar, schizophrenia, a whole bunch of, an array of mental illnesses, really, and the family coping with those things and, trying to live their life, which was...
It has beautiful music.
The music is really great.
It sounds devastating, and it is very emotionally powerful, but it does, I think, help to show that a musical doesn't have to be about kicking up your feet and kick lines and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, a great fun musical is a good time, but this was a musical that it won the Pulitzer Prize, actually.
Right.
So the script and the content of it is very, very moving and very intense, and it's nice to see a story told through music that isn't just, hop, skippity, jump, good times all the time. Not that I don't love that. So it was great. It was a great musical. And since we've been so busy, New York, DC, traveling around, seeing shows together and apart, and living our lives, and I'm actually house sitting this week for a couple of dogs, thus I don't have my tuxedo suit. Sorry to be dressed down for our event, but I can't leave the dogs alone. We watched a DVD of public speaking. It's Fran Lebowitz, a very, very famous writer who's most famous for not writing. And so I really appreciate that. She wrote 2 great books in the 80s called Metropolitan Life and Social Studies. They're books of essays, and she has not written another thing since. She's traveled all over the country talking, but spends most of her time in a bar in New York, sitting there talking to people. And she is an unashamed and unapologetic and unabashed elitist who thinks that the education and literacy of the country has gone down, and she is quite verbal about it. The documentary was directed by Martin Scorsese, and it's great.
It is.
And so are her books. Metropolitan Life and Social Studies, as I said, they're very, very funny. Each essay is 2 or 3 pages long. They're a quick read, and they're hilariously funny, sort of like Dorothy Parker in the 20s, only Fran wrote in the 80s. So we recommend that to you, this to you.
We do.
The Normal Heart, and Next to Normal,
which is running through this Sunday.
This Sunday at the Kennedy Center. Well, this should have had the word normal in it, so everything we talked about was about something normal. This week.
But Fran Lebowitz is anything but normal.
Fran Lebowitz is not normal, although I wish that she was normal.
I wish she was too.
I wish that the discussion and the back and forth in this country was on the erudite and elevated level at which she speaks.
I agree with you.
She She does not make apologies for all the things that she knows and all of the things that she has read, and her almost 30 years of doing almost absolutely nothing but talking about all of the things that she knows.
Yeah.
It's a great gig. So next week we might see an actual movie.
Maybe.
I don't know. Not Transformers.
Not Transformers. If you have suggestions, write a comment.
Or two.
Or, a lot.
So for One a Dish, this is Cody.
And this is Charlie.
And we are X to Z.